Okay, a lot of people are asking me about how to make presentations or have meetings for that matter in rooms where there are lots of distractions. If that's you, you're in the right place. So there are lots of things you can do. Now, some of them are obvious and some of them are less so. Let's start with some of the obvious ones. One, ask yourself, maybe it's worth postponing the meeting because maybe it is so important that you need to get it absolutely right. And if that's the case, maybe you should just ask to postpone the meeting until there's a better room available. Kind of can't hurt to ask, can it? Option 2, don't take for granted the set out of the room. You'll see there's a lot of things in this room that I don't like. I'm going to be working on those before my actual presentation starts. Option 3, let's go back to option 2. Those actually sometimes are quite radical. They can involve things like turning the room round by 90 degrees. All you have to do is get there half an hour early, 10 minutes early even, and move the tables and chairs to turn them around. That's quite radical and really attracts people's attention. Moving on to option 3, do what you can, obviously, to reduce the distractions. Kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? But all too many people just take the room as it is, so do what you can to reduce the distractions. Now, option 4, this is the one that really kind of freaks people out. Ask your audience what they think they could do or what they think you could do as well, for that matter, to make the room less distracting, as it were. Now, that does two things. The first is, it gives you ideas that you hadn't thought of, but the second is it establishes what we call a social contract. If they are invested in paying attention, they're more likely to pay attention. They've kind of said, okay, we promise, we are trying to pay attention, here are ideas for how we can do it, and even if they don't work, we'll at least try to pay attention. But the one that always kind of sticks people off and confuses people is not to start presentations the way that everybody else starts them, which is just to kind of warm up and stuff. Okay, so the way to start a presentation is to go bang, 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 and have something that's really interesting and grabs their attention in the room the immediate moment they walk in. Don't just have a splash screen on there that tells them what the name of the presentation is. Have something sexy and exciting that really grabs their attention. So don't just, have small chat and coffee and go, hello, my name is Simon, right? You go, what would be the best outcome for you today? Or do what I've done. I've put some stuff on the table there so that we're going to have conversations about how the training is going to go. And the last tip is to do with background noise. Now, I've seen some quite well-meaning presentations trainers saying that if there's a lot of background noise, what you should do is just up your pitch. And they say, helpfully, don't shout. Yes, don't shout, but that's like saying to somebody who is small, have you tried being taller? I mean, it just doesn't bloody work like that, does it? If you don't know how to project your voice, you don't know how to project your voice. So here is a better idea. Find the pitch, that is the high versus low of the ambient noise, and do what opera singers do what actors do what musicians do, and pitch slightly differently to that. It's why, for example, hockey matches, sometimes you'll find they have hooters rather than whistles, because the screaming of the, stereotypically here, female fans, as was in girls' hockey matches, meant that the whistle couldn't be heard, so you had a hooter at a different pitch. So you may not be able to hear it, but there's a background rumbling here in this room of traffic outside. Now, I'm leaving the windows open to try and cool the room down for now. But if that starts to be a problem during the day, what I will do is just raise the pitch of my voice slightly so that I'm not competing in the same auditory range. I'm going slightly higher. Okay, so it's much easier to pick up my voice when it's higher than the cars rather than when I'm just trying to be louder than the cars. Okay, so that's it. Half a dozen tips there for how to make presentations in rooms with lots of background noise.
I never make mistakes. Once I thought I did, but I was wrong.